Hello guys, this is Pap from Pap back at it again, and today we are here with another deck list coming from the recent pack up, the last pack opening that I had. So we already made Invoked Elemental Heroes and Invoked Neos. Check those deck lists out, they're pretty nice to use, pretty funny, and the Invoked Elemental Heroes is really strong. So this time, as you may have seen from the thumbnail, no Invoked Engine this time. I decided to go after 2 videos with Invoked Engine. I decided to have a break and actually showed you my pure Witchcrafter deck. So if you saw my pack opening, I actually it was the worst pack opening ever. If you want to suffer, just see it. And of course I ended up with tons of Witchcrafter cards, so why not give it a try? And it is, you know, a funny deck just because you basically can play without the extra deck. Can you believe it? Yes, you can, because I'm gonna show you a deck list without any extra deck. But before jumping right in, guys, just a quick reminder: if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it and really helps me a lot. Let's jump right into it. So there we go with the Witchcrafters right here. And boom, this is a deck list, no extra deck as I told you, and the deck list is pretty nice and straight. So we've got, I ended up with triple Madame Verre and triple Golemaruru, but in the truth, one of each is fine, sorry, as well as the Hane, because these little girls are just recyclable, so you can just recycle those and you're good to go. So the main purpose of the deck actually focuses around summoning the little girls, and everyone shares the effect of and that's a quick effect activatable in the main phase. You can discard a spell card and special summon any other Witchcrafter monster from your deck, so that's pretty nice. And basically you want to begin your turn with any of the little guys of the little girl that can be normal summoned, and of course you want to have a spell card in your hand so that you can discard it and special summon the boss. Why you want to summon Verre? Because this little girl actually can negate all the effects of monsters that are face up on the field. So, and it's a quick effect. Of course, you can use it in your opponent's turn, discarding a spell card as well. And so all the thing that these little girls does can be done discarding a spell card, and all the Witchcrafter spells share this effect that in the end phase, if you do not use those, you can actually recycle them and add it back to your hand. So let's suppose if you have a Witchcrafter creation and you use it in your turn, in the end phase it won't come back to your hand. But if instead you have a Witchcrafter creation in your hand and you discarded it to activate any of the Witchcrafter monster's effect, in the end phase you're gonna get the card back to your hand. So that's pretty nice recycle effect. And then they have an additional effect: the Shmira in the graveyard can be banished to send another Witchcrafter card to the graveyard. The Pitore can actually be banished from the graveyard to draw 1 card and then discard 1 Witchcrafter card. The Jenny instead can be banished alongside the Witchcrafter spell to get the effect of that Witchcrafter spell that you just banished with the Jenny. And the Pottery instead can be banished if you have no cards in your hand to choose a Witchcrafter spell card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. Then we've got the 3 bosses are the Verre that can negate basically all the monsters affect your opponent controls. And also in the damage calculation, you can reveal any number of spell card in your hand, and with a spellcaster monster you control gain 1000 attack and defense for each spell card revealed. Really good. Then we've got the Hane that instead has double effect. The first one is that your opponent cannot target a spellcaster monster with card effects, and the second one is that you can it's a quick effect, so anytime you can just activate this effect, discard a spell card and pop a face-up card on the field. Last but not least, Golemaruru. That is something you want to have in your hand though, because when your opponents attack your Witchcrafter monster or targets it with a card effect, you can special summon this guy and decide to target either a spell card in your graveyard or a card your opponent controls to return that target back to your hand. And also this guy can come back to your hand in the standby phase. So we've got a bunch of Witchcrafter spell card. We got the Creation that basically can add a monster, any Witchcrafter monster to your hand. We got the Holiday to special summon any Witchcrafter monster from your graveyard. One Collaboration that is actually to have to attack twice that turn, and also your opponent can activate and cannot activate any spell card after the attack declaration. Then we've got one Lightning Storm. We got the Buy Straight that is a continuous spell card, and if the first time each Witchcrafter monster gets destroyed or by battle or card effect, it is not destroyed, and this can actually come to your spell and trap zone field if it's in the end phase and it was discarded, so that's pretty nice. We've got one Draping to return spell trap cards your opponent controls up to the number of Witchcrafter monster you control. And last but not least, Unveiling, that is really nice because if anything happens to your normal summon, you want to have your Unveiling just in case you have another special summon. Then we've got the triple droplet and only one Masterpiece and one Patronus. Masterpiece is pretty nice to have the Witchcraft a spell card with the same name of one you already have in your graveyard, and also has a nice effect on the graveyard. You can banish it and any number of spell cards from your graveyard to special summon one Witchcrafter monsters whose level is equal to the number of spell cards banished by this effect. And last but not least, Patronus. This is a continuous spell card actually to keep recycling the monster you have banished or in your graveyard and keep on adding spell cards to his hand, so that's pretty nice. This has a banish effect as well from the graveyard because you can add all the banished spell card from the banished section to your hand, so that's pretty nice. The MVP though is Reasoning. This card is pretty nice because it's basically another summon for you, and because all these guys can be actually normal summon, the Reasoning is pretty good because your opponent has to declare a level from 1 to 2. You excavate cards until you actually get a monster that can be normal summoned, and all these guys can be normal summon set. And then if the monster is the same level as the one declared by your opponent, all the cards are sent to the graveyard, and this for us is a good thing, of course, because all these spell cards, if sent to the grave, they come back to your hand in the end phase. And if not, if your opponent does not guess the correct level, the monster gets special summoned, so you have an additional summon, and the cards that were excavated are still sent to the grave. So that's really nice. Some people decided to play this with the field spell that I do have, Ancient, no, it's not like that. It is, let me check it. It is a spell card. It is a, what it is, normal spell, field spell, there you go. There you go. A lot of people play this with the Secret Village of the spellcasters, but I do not like it simply because we do rely a lot on spell cards. That's true, and the point is that most of the times you just have one monster on the field. So what happens if your opponent has exactly that Kaiju monster to tribute yours, and then what happens is that this field spell actually gets back to you and you take the disadvantage. So that's why I decided not to play it, because this Witchcrafter's archetype is too risky to play this card in my opinion. That's why I decided not to play it. So of course, triple maxi because we want to draw, double blossom as always, and nothing, guys. That's it. As you can see right here, the deck is pretty, we can say, hard and easy to play, because I mean the combo is pretty easy, but you can do a lot of stuff with this guy in the group. You can send which media you can send any of these girls to the graveyard to have an additional fact ready, so that's pretty nice. But the point is that you have to know well how the other decks work, because you have to know when to use your Madame of Erase effect. You can't miss it, otherwise you're screwed. So guys, that was all for the explanation. I hope it didn't take too long. We can jump right into the replays. Here we go, my boys, it's us to begin. Look at that, we've got that spicy reasoning in our hand, but even without this, we still have a lot of stuff, actually something to begin with. As you can see, he actually guessed the correct level because the monster was sent to the graveyard, so I had to summon my pottery. As soon as I summoned my pottery, he decided to use Maxi. That was a bad move because he could have just waited for me to activate the effect. Because keep in mind that I'm not forced to use it right now, I can just do it in his turn, and that's exactly what I did. Also, I recycled my creation, so I have a couple of spell cards. The bad thing is that because Vera is in my hand, I cannot special summon her. I have to summon either Hain or the Golem Aruru. That's a pretty bad thing. So let's see what he's got. He's got Cyber Dragon right here. So machine duplication to begin with. As you can see right here, he's got a couple of guys out, and then Nova is here, and then boom, Salaman Great All Mirage. You can go into Infinity, of course. Then the effect of the Hurt to add another Cyber Dragon to his hand. Nova to special summon Cyber Dragon Hearts back on the field. Then he's got, there you go, Infinity, of course, the usual play with Cyber Dragons. He's got the effect to target my pottery and attach to it as material, but I can just chain my pottery's effect, discard a spell card, and bring out the Hain. So Hain right here now can pop stuff. He's got another link summon right here into Anaconda right now, so he can send a fusion card to the graveyard to use it. He decided to go with Raigeki first though. At this point, I activate Hain's effect to pop the Infinity. Now Infinity will use its effect to negate that. At the point, I can use my Droplet to send the Hain, that's gonna be destroyed anyway, to the graveyard to negate Hain's effect. I decided to send the Verre as well, because actually having that in my hand is useful only if I draw my Unveiling. There actually is a 3 chances out of 40, so it's nearly impossible. So I negated both, so that also Anaconda becomes useless basically. So Infinity gets destroyed with the effect of Hain, and he can only deal me 250 damage. So I'm chilling right now. Let's see what I got. I got a collaboration, but in my graveyard though, I had either a Jenny and a pottery. So I can just use, as you can see right here, Jenny's effect to discard to banish the holiday, use the effect, and boom, bring out my Verre on the field and attack, reveal my collaboration, and get some damage done. Now in the end phase, I can actually recycle the creation once again, so I have one to negate the effect and maybe one to boost up myself. So it's got Cyber Dragon and then a Cyber Dragon Core. I decided not to negate, I was waiting to negate a big boss monster right there. He's got the Cyber Repair Plant, but then he had the Kaiju. So that was the worst thing ever, because now with Kaiju, he just got rid of my Verre, and then with the effect of Chimeric Fortress, he could just use the Kaiju he just gave me to special summon the Chimeric Fortress Dragon. So for more than 4k damage for me. Am I done? Let's see what we've got. We're not done because we got creation basically. We draw another one that was useless unfortunately. We can just draw a Pitore, summon her, use the effect, bring out the Aruru, because actually it's the only monster that I can summon right now. That's it. That's why I went for this, because I wanted something to be to have higher attack than those guys. But then I used my collaboration for the golem to get rid of both, and then pottery's effect, because I have no cards in my hand, to have the creation back to my hand. That this creation wouldn't have come back to my hand because I actually used the effect in the end phase, so keep in mind that. And then I would just attack twice with collaboration, and if he had any spell trap cards, he could have activated those during the battle, of course. So we cleared the field, let's see what it's got, and then Aruru in the standby phase just come back to my hand. That can be a problem because I only have 3600 life points. It's got the Linkuribo, as you can see right here, so he's not in a better spot than mine. He can just deal me 300 damage. So I think we're good, honestly. So I got Pitore, use the effect, discard the creation to summon Shmita, because I have anything else I can attack. I don't know why he took the damage, honestly. And in the end phase, I can just recycle the creation again and Also the collaboration that comes back to my hand because its turn is passed, so we're chilling. And also if he targets our Shemitah, we can just summon the Aruru. Keep in mind that, so Aruru is just like a hand drop that he should know about, but as you will see in replays, he actually forgot about it. So he's got the Cyber Emergency Prismatic, pretty nice to see honestly. The Nashter right here, discarding the Hertz to special summon also the Infinity back on the field, and that's a nice move because the Infinity can just target my Shemitah to you know, and attach to it as some material. So that's pretty, I'm in a pretty bad spot, right? No, actually, because here's the effect. Of course, Shemitah can tag out, discard a spell card and summon. This time I decided to summon a Jenny. Why? Because I wanted this to be in the graveyard so that next turn I can use its effect. He's got the Union Carrier right here to keep the Infinity with another card. He attacked, I can just use the Golem Aruru to summon and target the Infinity that comes back to hand. He cannot negate that because he has no materials attached to it. So the Union Carrier just pops my Jenny, but that point is just a good thing for us. We've got the Patronus, pretty nice. Shemitah's effect to send to the graveyard in a Holiday. So at this point I can use Jenny's effect to banish the Holiday I just sent to the graveyard to revive my Hain. At this point I can just attack. I do not even need to use the effect of Hain. I have more than little right there. That was a very nice duel, as you can see right here. That's how you do it. There you go. So guys, that was all for WITCHCRAFTERS. Today. I hope you enjoyed the deck profile, the deck list breakdown, and this replay. Of course, guys, as always, if you have some questions, feel free to ask me whatever you want in the comment section down below. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.